Hello there, Year 3, lovely green and a lovely emerald classes. We are heading off to ancient Greece again, finding out about city-states today. It's a bit hot with those on. As you know, it's quite warm. Greece is on the Mediterranean Sea, which is further towards the equator than we are currently in the UK. So we're going to have a little look at this today. We are going to have a little talk session about our work from last week, see if you can remember anything. And we found out where Greece was in the world. You had a map that you added. What do you remember from last week? Do you remember adding the cities? Do you remember adding lots of information to that map, colouring it in? Do you remember putting some mountains and different sea names in there? What do you remember? So you can look back at your work in your book to help you if that's available. Hopefully it is. So have a little pause of the video and talk to somebody. Okay, so hopefully you've had a bit of time to recap. We're going to, as I said, we're going to have a look back into history. We're going to explore those city-states. But this flag here that we looked at last week, and you coloured that in ancient Greek times, there were no flags. They used emblems, which are a bit like badges. So a little bit of background information about this for you. They, instead of having flags and a national flag, the cities in ancient Greece used to almost consider themselves to be like a little mini country, and they used to have their own government and their own lawmakers, their own rules and their own armies, and they're sort of very individual. So they would consider themselves, say if they were from Athens, they would consider themselves Athenians first and then Greek second. Okay, so it would be like thinking of yourself as, I'm a Kent person, I'm first, that's the rule in the top of your mind, and then I'm part of England, and I'm part of Britain as well. Okay, so they would have an emblem or like a badge that would show everybody that that's where they're from. Now this one here, this soldier here, shows Galfs, which is an owl, and it's a symbol of one of the goddesses that's Mrs. Ludlow's favourite, and we've also come across her in one of our Greek myths, the goddess Athene or Athena, and she's the patron goddess of Athens. Okay, and how can you tell he's from Athens? Absolutely, because he's got that badge on, because that shows that he is, he considers Athena his goddess. His city is named after that goddess, and he's like, he's rooting. He's yeah. We're going for Athens. He's supporting Athens all the way. So we're going to have a recap of our map outlines of Greece. Can you find the shape of Greece on this map? It's going to be the middle map in a second. Here it is. So this white map here is what you filled in last week. Can you spot on here where ancient Greece lies, or Greece currently lies? Okay. So you should be able to spot that this is the area. And I always think of this being like a little claw coming down, and it'll sort of almost like a hand shape. And that always gives, it's quite a wide country across there, and there are other countries that come into the Mediterranean from the north-south side. You've got Italy up here, and it has the shape of a very strange looking boot with a big heel on it, and they have a sort of similarity. But if you can spot that shape, it's also like a little three shape, sort of almost like a trident, like a little fork hanging out here. And then we've got another island at the bottom. It's a big island, this one. So, and then you'll find it on the outline here where it shows lots more of those islands in the middle. There's a lot missing from this one, but if you want to add those in, you certainly can do that. Okay, we had some brilliant map work last week from somebody in particular in green class. Fantastic. Instead of using this map, he actually drew that map out and coloured it in. It looked amazing. It was really lovely to see. I know Miss B was like, yeah, look at this amazing work, it's super duper, and she I've had a look at it as well, so well done. It's really good to see that work coming in. So can you find Crete? Now we came across Crete when when we looked at another one of our myths this week. This is where King Minos and the labyrinth are believed to have been. Can you see it on that map? You will have labelled this last week. Yes, absolutely. It is right down the bottom in the most southernmost area of Greece, and it's this island here. It's supposed to be absolutely beautiful. So let's have a little look. Today we're going to map out these city-states. So each ancient city had its own little mini governing area, and we're going to have a look at this. Now, over the years, the governing states or the city-states changed. In fact, over the period of time during the ancient Greeks, there have been thousands of different city-states and various different ways of them existing and taking over other areas and retreating and disappearing. So lots and lots of changes. I'm going to stick to this one for the moment, and this is just before Greece was starting to fight against the Persians, and there's some really big wars, lots of wars going on in ancient Greek times, lots of fighting between the different city-states. In particular, the most famous of those are the Athenians and the Spartans, and their cities are here at the end. And I thought it'd be really good to see where their states started, where they geographically went in Greece, because you can see they had allies, they had friends that would help them fight each other. And Thebes, which is here, they're quite interesting because historically they just used to join in with the people that were winning. I quite like that idea, just like, oh, they look like they're doing a really good job. We've got more chance of surviving if we join their army. Let's go and work with those. So it's a little bit cheeky, but that's what they did. They were well known for it, just joining the side that looked as though they were going to win. It was quite a good strategy for lasting. So you can see that here, Athens, the Athenians, they had friends or parts of their state, allies, so friendly groups as well, that were all the way around in this coastal area here. So they were spread across a lot of the islands, and then the Spartans were on this peninsula here. And so you're going to be able to colour these in on your map today and get that work done. So you're going to be showing Thebians, Thebes, the Athenians and the Spartans, and where they sort of rule. Now the other ones are, there's other states here as well, in Macedonia and in Crete too, and Knossos, and they are not what we're sort of concentrating at the moment, but if you could colour those in just a cream colour, that would be really good. You can choose your colours to match the key that you're going to make as well. So this part of the map is called the key. It shows a block for each colour used on the drawing and a label to show the meaning. There's 4 colours here to represent each powerful city-states and their friends that divided up ancient Greece. City-states in Greek are known as polis or polis, and ancient Greece was divided up into a collection of smaller city-states. The main states included Athens, Corinth, Delphi, Knossos, which is the Cretan one, Olympia, Sparta and Thebes, but there have been many through the years. The 2 powerful cities with lots of tradition of war going on between them were the Athenians and the Spartans. So this is the state, the map that you're going to be doing, and you're going to draw that onto your plain map, use your colour pencils and make a key. Okay, that's the first activity on your sheet. The second one is a geographical map, so that's showing the different land features and sea features on the Earth. Actually, I'm going to have a little explanation about that a bit later. So on this map, blue represents the sea, the green is the low-lying land near the coast, so that's the bit between the sea and the land. These areas around the edge are called coastal areas, and the small green blobs in the middle are the islands here as well. So this green and oh, I've just given the game away there again. Cheeky Mrs. Ludlow. Oh, it's a shame it came down. What was the green and brown areas on this map? They are the mountains. Now you can see that there are many high areas in Greece, and that's why a lot of the cities are around on the lower lying areas, just up some of them into those mountains, because it's really cool. If you're slightly higher, you can defend your city against anybody coming in to try and invade you. If you're slightly higher up, that's a really good, you can fling things down, and it's harder for people to go up a hill. Getting hot here with this on actually, and it's making me hot. Harder work to go up a hill, and easier to fling stuff down and run down and keep your breath and fight. Okay, so you're going to draw onto your geographical map. You did draw some of the labels for these areas last week, but this time you're actually going to draw in those features. You can draw the sea, you can colour in the sea, the lowland and those mountain areas, and they need to look like a little mountain, and when you do your key you can put a little mountain in there as well. Okay, geographical, so this is a geographical map, is based on the Earth's features such as things like oceans, rivers, deserts and mountains. And if you study geography, it's actually a scientific study of the Earth's features, all of those things that we've just mentioned. So when you do your sheet for that, you'll make another key, but it will have things like mountains, seas and oceans on there. You can always come back to this video, you can pause it while you're doing it so you make sure you've got the right key. Okay, finally have a read through the maps facts resource sheet, which is this little one here. I've put both of those on for you to have a look at, so you don't have to keep the video open. If you want to print that out, you can. It's got some good information about the history of the city-states and the different areas on there, and you can plot some of those places neatly on your maps as well. And then at the bottom of that sheet, I'd like you to find out a little bit, or I'd like to think now about what you'd like to find out a bit more in depth, because a lot of these little facts on here have got a huge amount of work that we can look into. We can look into the armies, we can look into the wars, we can look into home life for different cities. We can look at, there's Olympia on there. There's lots of different sort of parts of our project or our topic that you can go into. So if you put that onto your sheet, you will actually let us know what you're interested in, and we can form our lessons around that. It's what we do in class, and we find out, you know, what you know and what you want to work on. And finally, I'm going to finish now. You'll be pleased to hear that you can share some of your learning from today with someone close to you. And we're breaking down that, you know, we found Greece in the world last week, and it's in southern Europe, and we started to name some of those places. So this is a extra little bit of information going on here. We found out the difference between two different types of maps. One is looking at a historical map and different sort of power states in there, and the other is looking at the geographical features of maps. Okay, so there's a difference there, and I'm hoping that you'll have a little think of what you want to do next in your topic, so that we can build up some of the lessons for you as we go. Okay, so hopefully you'll get on really well with that today. I'd love to see some of your work with this, and so would Miss B, and we hope you're doing really well. Speak to you soon. Okay, now, bye.